Hey there. Hey there. Cheers. St. Patrick's Day weekend, as I'm recording this. Is there like a historical reason why people drink so much on St. Patrick's Day? Is it because of like the Irish and their history with beer? I'm not sure. This is a genuine question because I've never seen so much throw up on the streets. This is the day after the Saturday leading up to St. Patrick's Day. And everyone gets blackout drunk, which I don't know why. I think drinking's fun in the sense of having a good time with friends. And when I mean that, I mean maybe like a little lager, one lager, and then everything's done. But people just like to continue until their body can't take it anymore. That can either prevent alcoholism or encourage it. Like, oh, if I just can control how much I have next time, I won't get to this point. Or it can like really take a halt on, you know what? Maybe liquor is not for me. Anyway, so today I went to Dumbo in Brooklyn. I've been to Brooklyn, but I've never been to Dumbo. And they have a flea market around this time of the year in spring. Spring my ass. It's cold as hell outside. I still have to wear a puffer. Now, I understand now what seasonal depression is. I grew up in Arizona, right? So when people would start talking about seasonal depression during like this time of the year, I'd chime and be like, yeah, me too. My mental health is really low. And I'd be like, what are we talking about? What does that mean? I didn't know that it correlated with the weather, which is stupid because the whole term isn't just like depression, it's seasonal depression, right? Weather is a huge impact on how we feel daily. Because when it rains every day, when it rains every day, when it's icky outside, when it's cloudy, when you haven't seen the sun in 2 weeks, you start getting really sad. And I grew up in an area where if the sun wasn't shining, you should be scared because something is wrong. This is the best time of the year in Arizona, actually. I went to Arizona about a month ago to visit my parents, and everybody on the flight was going to Scottsdale, Arizona. Now, Scottsdale is a ritzy area. It's the whitest town in Arizona, and I think one of the whitest towns in the whole of America. And that's just because a lot of white, rich people live there. My aunt is white. She's got some money, and she lives there. And I'm like, yeah, okay, Cece. Like, you know what? What am I getting at? I went to Dumbo, okay? Flea market. 10 minutes in, me and Weston find this beautiful West Elm pencil desk. Well, surprise, we got a table.
We got the table!
We got a table. How are we gonna get it home? I don't know. But we have a table. And we've got an area in the living room that needs a little bit of oomph. There's nothing really there. And we're in the process of staining it. Now, no, we've never stained wood before. I've never stained wood. But, we'll see what happens. I'm not really sure. I'm a little bit scared because wood's a very easy thing to get wrong. It's not like metal or stainless steel. You can't really stain anything on stainless steel. Anyway, whatever. I got a ring with a B on it. It stands for my last name. I got a necklace. And this thing for... I can't show that. She might watch this. But I got something for my friend for her birthday in May. Now, this beautiful pencil desk is either going to be a win or a flop. Okay? Because originally it's around $500 back in 2016. If you add inflation, if you transfer the euro to the USD as what it was sold at West Elm, it's around that price. And we got it for $80 from a ma and pa. And so I really hope we don't fuck it up because I'm going to be really upset. Now, the smart way when you are shopping for discounted items to really minimize costs, especially in a place like New York City, is you don't take an Uber, you take the subway, right? $2.93 for a one-way ride. I didn't drink too much of this, but I am stuttering over my words. But I do that anyway without a drink. I don't know. Taking a subway is a smart thing to do. What is the fault, though, is when the user does not have the upper body strength to go up and down the stairs and to maneuver it down the streets. Now, I barely made it to the sidewalk to get to the Uber because I was like, Weston was like, should we do this on the subway? Because I know that I can carry it on one end. Can you carry it? And I looked him in the eyes and I'm like, no. I know that you go to the gym every day, but I don't. I don't do Pilates. I don't do anything here to, strengthen myself, which I should do. But I literally don't have the strength to do this, to transport up and down the subway and down several sidewalks to get it home, and then have to take the stairs up to the apartment. I can't do it. This is a top-heavy West Elm. Here's my rule of thumb. Find things such as like stainless steel, things that cannot stain, is fine when you're transporting furniture from one location to another using the New York subway city system. But when it comes to thick cushions that are, that can just really absorb anything, that's a big no for me. I could never comfortably sit on a couch in my home that has been on the subway. Because one thing about the subway is that things drip. They run across the floor, whether it be urine, unknown liquids, blood, whatever it may be. The subway shifts, one way another, the train or whatever, and you're suddenly hit with like a spray of an unknown liquid, and you're like, well, I don't know, I'm just have to completely like bleach the left side of my face when I get home. Some people don't even touch the poles on the subway, and you're going to put a piece of furniture on the floor of the subway? One misstep carrying things up and down the stairs, and it's over. Because not only are you going down, but so is your purchased piece of furniture. And it's absorbing every single liquid and goop that has been on each step all the way down. If you won't wear open-toed shoes on the subway, you're damn stupid to put a couch under the same conditions. If I had to transport a wooden stool, I'd be fine with it. Okay? I can scrub, I can bleach, the color would be completely different, but there are things and I'm not burying my face into the wooden stool at the end of the day. Like, I'm gonna lounge on the couch after a long, exhausting day, and I can't be at full, complete rest and peace when I know that the cushions have been in the vicinity of subway air and aura. That is just me, though. To wrap it up in a simple bow, we didn't take the subway. Also, it was like raining from last night, and the stairs were wet, and I was just more prone to slip. I couldn't do it. Anyway, so we come home from the event, and we're starting to get all of our supplies to stain the wood. Now, there's a very hefty process. You have to have a sander. You have to have some sort of spray to put on to lift up the dark seal that has been put onto the wood, and then you have to scrape it off. And that seal, that chemical, is very strong. So you want to get some sort of like air circulating throughout wherever you're going to be doing the spraying. So we open every single window in the apartment, and that means you can hear every single sound that is occurring outside the windows. You hear people biking, you hear people talking, and this usually occurs in general. The windows are not thick as hell. They're not the windows you see on the president's car where like they're driving down the street and you can hit it with 12 bullets and they're going to be fine. But you can hear things more clearly. Anyway, so we're kind of waiting for the stuff to lift the dark wood and the seal, and all of a sudden we hear a honking outside. Now, honking is not irregular in New York City. I feel like it'd be weird if no one was honking throughout the day. I'd be like, well, everyone cleared out of the city, no one's around, I should be concerned, and I should head for the Brooklyn Bridge. The London Bridge is located, I think, somewhere in Arizona, not Tucson, but I don't know how the fuck it ended up in Arizona, but it's completely put together, and you can see it. Lake Havasu. Wow. Why there? No one's really. I don't want to read the AI summary. I'm really trying to stray myself away from using ChatGPT. I was fine before it. I got to push on without it. God, we paid $2.4 million in 1968 for this damn bridge. Really glad I wasn't alive back then, because I know state taxes were fucking crazy. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, so someone's honking outside. From the viewpoint that I had, there was an Amazon worker who was unloading right in the middle of the street, and you can't really do that. There are sidewalks. You can, like, the device that they were transporting their goods on, it wasn't wide to the point where you couldn't do it on the sidewalk, but dead center in the middle of the street, and there was a car that had to go down, and you have to just let people go. You can't just stop the traffic. So they honk at this Amazon worker, and they got the window down, and finally the Amazon worker moves, very frustrated. The car zips past, and the Amazon worker, for no reason, says, hey, fuck you. And the guy who's driving is now yelling back at her, being like, you couldn't be there. Like, I'm trying to get through, blah, blah, blah. And he has a very thick accent from South Asia. And this woman, who is a woman of color, mind you, which takes me at surprise, yells a very xenophobic ass comment, going, you shouldn't even be here. Get out of this country, motherfucker. You don't deserve to be here. You don't belong in this country. Blah, 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 blah. Coming from a woman of color to yell at a man of color, you don't belong here in this country. We don't want you here. You are a woman of color spewing hatred to another person of color. In the city of immigrants, mind you. This city is built on immigration. This country is built on immigration, but New York City, the diversity here, and the reason that it is so popular to this day is solely on the backs of immigrants. Not everyone who is a person of color is an automatic alliance. Like, I'll see another person of color in public and, like, I will feel safe, which is unfortunate because that's not always the case. Like, I am the daughter of an immigrant. At the end of the day, that person might be a Republican. And that kind of checked me in reality, being like, God damn, you can't really trust anyone. There is no alliance. I mean, I knew that because I'm a grown woman. But sometimes you have some sort of hope in humanity. But I digress. Anyway, so it's spring. It's March. Prom is happening during this time of the year. I'm too old to be talking about prom. Feel like Rebel Wilson in senior year. But it's Women's History Month. And I'm going to tell you a little history about my prom experience. Picture this, it's 3 weeks before COVID has hit American television news sites. I'm a senior in high school. And not just any high school, not like your average public charter school or a brick and mortar. I'm fully online, right? This was before COVID was a thing. Online school did exist. I know it's a surprise, but I promise you I'm not lying. It was a real thing, and many other people did it. I had done it from age 12 to 17, 18 years old, and then after that, I have done my complete college experience fully online as well at ASU Online. It is possible, my friends. I will say a great part about COVID was that online learning had become more accessible. A lot of more majors were offered online for people to complete a degree. And that is because, unfortunately, there are people who have a great passion for a subject and want to get their degree in that, but can't afford to move to that state to go to a college that offers that program. But with COVID, a lot of schools started offering more fully online master's and bachelor's programs. And I think that's a great thing. Many people now probably don't really do online college and have a better experience being able to listen in a classroom to learn. But because I am just so used to learning online and kind of teaching myself certain things, when the professor provides the right material in a cohesive way, I have found online learning to be beneficial for me. And so that also expands for other people in my class. I remember taking classes recently where someone in like a discussion board was like, I'm literally from Portland, Maine, and there's no programs for this major that I'm doing, so I'm here at ASU Online, and I'm really excited. And it's just a great thing to have accessibility. One good thing that came out of COVID, accessibility for education online if you have the money to afford college. Anyway, so I did high school fully online. Now, there are some great pros about doing school online. Okay, I can continue down the line how many pros that I've had being an online student when it comes to education. But there are cons. There's a lot of cons, especially when you start at a young age. I was 12 years old. From 12 to 14, 15, 16, you're developing socially. So to isolate someone in those developing years from conversations, social interactions, of course, it's a bit of a scary thing to do. And it's something a lot of parents have to really think and contemplate about because it is a hard decision. The concept of prom seems ridiculous to most because everyone at Connections Academy was an online student. But somehow, in the school board's eyes, it was possible, doable, and profitable. So an email was sent out to the entire school, the entire high school, being like, hey guys, we're doing prom this year. We're doing prom. Everybody come around. Everybody come around. The theme is masquerade. Put on a mask. No one's going to know who you are. I think it was just like a little jab at like, yeah, we actually don't know who any of you are because we've never seen any of our students in person. So come up in a mask and reveal yourselves finally, because you were never required to submit a photo that you were a child. Anyway, so I went to prom, and I went with my friend Sarah. Now, how do you meet a friend in an online school? Well, coincidentally, my grandma worked at a restaurant, and the restaurant's owner had a daughter my age who went to the same online school. So me and Sarah were like this, and we hung out at prom and had a great time. Was it awkward as hell and felt like an anime convention? Yeah, it was weird. Put a group of introverts together and like try to make them form a mosh pit. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna be awkward standing around for a DJ to play for 3 hours, waiting for the final hour to play slide to the left, slide to the right, crisscross, crisscross. The grand finale. What a night. What a night. I had a great prom. I got a nice dress, I hung out with my friend, and I went home. About 6 years later, my mom reveals a story to me. Now, around this time, I started getting popular on TikTok. I had around 1 million followers at that point. It was when people started shifting from, like, dancing Musical.ly videos to comedy talking videos. To give reference, it was when people would make comedy videos and start doing this at the camera and zooming in like this when they have a point to emphasize and make it a comedic kind of framing. Just kind of like early cringe culture, but I really loved it and I wish we could go back. Oh, to be cringe and be free and be loved. Oh my god, 6-7 years later, it's 2025. Let's say it's been 5 years. My mom suddenly reveals a story to me. Now, she is a mysterious woman. She told me recently at dinner once that because I was getting popular on social media, and it was my first time going to prom and my first time interacting with people my age that were not my, like, ballet friends at 17 years old, she felt bad that I did not have a prom date, that I didn't have a man to go to the prom with. So my mom thinks of a grand plan. She emails AZ Family News 3 TV, which is the Arizona morning news, and she says, hey guys, my daughter is 17 years old. I know you guys love doing surprises, and I got a proposition for you. My beautiful daughter is TikTok famous. This is her account, and she's going to prom this year alone. She has no date, and I was wondering, as a surprise, because I know you guys love doing surprises on the news, if you could surprise her for a news segment with a date. I'm so dead ass. She emailed AZ Family News 3 TV and said, my daughter is online schooled. She's going to prom. She does not have a male date. She's going with her friend, but fuck that. She needs a date. Can you set her up? And she can make a TikTok about it, and you can get a news segment out of it. And I could not believe it when she told me. I couldn't believe it. I said, are you kidding me? Why did you do that? And she said, I don't know. I just felt bad that you didn't have a date. And I'm like, girl, I didn't care that I didn't have a date. My dad didn't even know. He was sitting next to her being like, anyway, wouldn't you know it, AZ Family 3 TV emails back, and they say, yeah. Does she know about this? And what time is the prom gonna be at, and what location? I think the funnier part of all this is that, like, it wasn't that my mom sent them an email, but they took it seriously. They were like, yeah, sure, why not? They were going to find a man, a 17-year-old boy, to be my date. I was going to be shamed publicly on Arizona news that this girl does not have a date to a prom. She's TikTok famous and somehow does not have a man giving her a corsage on her prom day, and we're gonna set her up with a boy. When she told me this story, I thought it was very funny, and I still do. And to this day, I wish that it happened. I wish that she went through with it. I was like, wait, so what happened after that? And she said, I didn't email them back because I got scared that you were going to hate me. And I was like, oh, Mommy. It's very sweet. Funnily enough, I think because of my mentality back then, I would have been like, oh, this is great. This is actually really funny. I'm going to make a TikTok out of this. And to this day, I do wish that she did do it because I think it'd be really funny. Just because, like, at that point in my life, I don't know. You can't really be embarrassed on the news when you, like, do those comedy millennial mirror videos at age 17 on TikTok for millions of people to see. And so... Anyway, so that's my prom story. What a fun little thing that could have happened. And once again, she did it because she felt bad that I did not have a date to prom, but also because she was like, it could have been a funny TikTok. And I think from a business perspective, like, yes, manager. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you have a date to prom or not. What matters is that you're happy. And why would you want to spend a night with a man? I think that's it for today. So, how do we really summon this one up? I love immigrants. I love West Elm, and I really wish that I could have been publicly shamed on the news for not having a date to prom, because that would have been just the cherry on top of the online school experience. Goodbye.